Good morning, or evening, or whatever it is in your part of the world. It is morning where I am. 6 a.m. Nice and early. So when I last left off, I was in Mari. I am still in Mari at the moment, doing textures and painting up some stuff. Adding some details. So we'll be continuing off where I left off. I do, however, want to show the shiny new toy that Vincent was nice enough to share. Sorry, still waking at the moment, so brain is getting functioning, but I will get rolling here. So we were talking about it in the last class, tiling and tiling the UVs, or not tiling UVs, but tiling the texture. And turns out that semicolon thing that they had brought up does work. Just me and my impatience kind of rushed through it, but it doesn't show up in the viewport. But if you take this guy and you press the semicolon key, you can, even though like my texture isn't over that guy, I can just kind of paint with this right now. And this allows me to, keep painting and just rotating and make, quicker work of this, which is nice. And, this to me really illustrates the point, or illustrates why, I really like doing this in this method, the open forum, people able to comment, stuff like that, because, as I've said, I can't possibly know everything, and that you guys are like looking stuff up as I'm doing things and, giving suggestions. It's just freaking awesome. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, Vincent. That is super handy, and I will love you always for that tip. So that's great. Like, this really helps make quick work of stuff. So at the moment, just coming in still, setting down a base layer, and if we look in perspective view, you can see, like, I've got some stuff where we've got some weirdness, and I'll address that, and then some areas where the branch here is, that's way too large. That's nice. Inside the branch, the bark is way too large, the tiling, and once you get into like a complicated object, it becomes a little difficult to like find, like, what am I painting on. The one thing that you can do, though, is just come in and you can add another channel if you want, or if you're not afraid, just paint some red on that guy, bake it down. So now when we go over to UV space, I can find that guy. Okay, so I know, like, this is way too big. And go to my paint through. Wrong guy. And again, as always, zoom in on your frame buffer. This is, your 8K here. So you don't want to be too far out. As much as I could just throw a swatch of bark over everything and, keep this thing really small. If I'm not zoomed in, it's not going to be 8K. And it would just be, a big hot mess. It'd be lots of very low res small bark. So let's do that. And let's see what we get with that. Okay, that's better. So then I'm gonna hit this stuff over here that's all kind of similar with the same size, because chances are this stuff all needs the same treatment. Bake. As I'm getting going here, anybody in the peanut gallery have any questions or comments or anything, feedback? Please let me know. As I'm sure you're all aware, you know, follow on Facebook. I do updates for when I'm going live, and then follow on YouTube so you see when I post the videos from the sessions that I've done that are perhaps not in your time zone. And go, go, go. Those little pieces matter too much. Not super worried about those guys. Let's not miss this. Alright. So then this type of stuff, you know, we can just come in and give it a little something something. So the whole time here I have that the semicolon key. I have not let up on it, so I can paint, you know, kind of across this. And just line this guy up. And again. Much gooder. And you know, I'm still just using this one texture just to cover this guy. And then once I'm done with this, or maybe before I'm done, I'm gonna throw another layer on this guy, and that's going to start to be some of those worn open wood areas. And I'll probably do that in a minute, and kind of jump around here so you can see couple different techniques, or not techniques, but you know, as I lay different things down, then exporting all of that. What do you do? You know, that type of stuff. And you can always bake it down into one app, or if you want to be super fancy, you can make composites in Max with each of the maps and multiply them, kind of rebuild. You can make shaders in here. You can rebuild that workflow with composites inside of Max. I generally don't do that, because most of the time what I'm doing is pretty simple. It's not rocket science in my case. This stuff up here is obviously too big. So I'm just gonna, hit that with with my frog voice. I just woken up. Oops. Oh, damn it. I baked and I didn't mean to. I do that a lot. Now I meant to bake. This stuff's too big. Not quite sure where. I think this is just a big lump. I think that's what I did. I'll put some stuff on that eventually. That's fine for the moment. That's perfect. Just how I want that. And the face, I don't really, I'm not going to worry about, because I'm going to put a different texture on that. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. Means you get to work the weekend. You're late. It's Jerry's baby. And just taking its sweet time. So Jerry, I was thanking Vincent, who I'm not sure if he's here this morning, for the semicolon thing, he emailed me after the fact and told me that it just doesn't show up in the viewport, but it does work. And yes, as he so diligently researched the that tiling feature, yeah, it's freaking awesome. So tell him thanks if you see him today. Oh, sweet. Vincent is here. Alright, so question, maybe this is off topic, but I was wondering, when using V-Ray, we use V-Ray when rendering, how do you set up your render elements to composite your image in Photoshop to get the same results as the beauty pass? So you're talking render elements in V-Ray, yeah. Well, we don't composite in Photoshop, but not to say that, you know, you can't. I don't think I've really ever composited in Photoshop. So the method would be the same, and I can go through a quick RGB rebuild. But you know, for the most part, it's. Are you wanting to do like a full rebuild, or really just kind of understanding like what passes, what gets plussed, what gets multiplied, and really the only reason you would need to be multiplying or anything is if you need to divide out a particular channel or get like a raw pass, like you want a raw lighting from your lighting pass and your diffuse so that you can color it in post and not be affected. But for stills and whatnot, you can use those raw channels. For animations and whatnot, the raw channels actually don't they don't anti-alias properly, and they don't motion blur properly. And if you do use them in comp, you will get just nasty edges. And that's just for animation that I'm talking. Stills, go ahead, use the raw channels to your heart's delight. But if your stuff is moving and you've got camera motion blur, do not use them. You have to take your your diffuse and your GI or whatever channel you're looking to use, and you've got to multiply or divide it to get a raw. But I can show that. I'm asking for animation, not for animation, but mostly for print. Yeah, it's a little different, than what I might do. Let's see, the Noman Workshop. Yeah, past compositing. That's a good one. That's Tim Jones of Blur and DD, and now he's at Pixamundo. He knows his shit. Also a Michigan guy. That's Michigan guys. A wily bunch. Michigan guy equals Dave. Yes. Michigan guy does equal Dave. So Dave, you just need to come out to LA and be part of the Michigan Coalition. There's a pretty big group of us represent. Yes. All right. kind of... I'm just gonna fix that right there real fast, and then I'm gonna go get a different texture because I'm bored with this texture. We'll do some other stuff. You'll be at work tomorrow? Alright. I won't. Not working the weekend. Okay. So for the moment, I'm gonna leave some of these other things, let them lie. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, I just want to see some shape on this stuff. Alright, and I'm gonna go get another image. Let's see. And class 11 maps. Didn't I paste those? Apparently not. I selected them. I just grabbed some maps off of CG Textures. Just some like bare wood maps. Now, I know you can grab like a ton of these guys and throw them in here. If you are using like EXRs and really large files though, do be careful not to put too many in, is what I've been told. If you just like load this thing up, it's going to take away you know, resources from your machine that you want. In this case, I think these will probably all, you know, be fine, but I don't know why I grabbed one. But you can just kind of shift and drag all of them in there. Now I've got some other food for fodder here. And let's grab this one. And just click and drag into the screen. And before I do this, I want to make a new channel. So say add channel. And this is going to be alpha, or is that what I want to do? Yes. It's thinking. And then in my shader, sorry, I haven't done this in a while. Where is it? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, sorry. Where are you? Delete, remove channel. Alright, yeah, this guy's. And now I want to add a new layer. So I've got my base. And I want to make them bare wood in this. So now I can paint on this guy, and I'm not going to affect the painting that I've done before. And I should be able to color correct this and stuff like that as well. Let's see. Oops. And I baked that. Of course I did. Really, ultimately, I'm going to want that to be quite a bit smaller. And once I'm done with this, I'll come in and lay like another layer over that of like bark kind of over top of this, so it doesn't, you know, you don't get that kind of shitty soft edge, which you wouldn't have. Yeah, that, the render element combination, that's the PD player. This guy's really good. Let's see, where am I? We'll grab that guy. Does this have the PD comp? There is a PD player comp that you can download. Where is that? Examples. No. Which I like. That was, Hey, Jerry, can you find that? The, do you know what I'm talking about? There's a PD comp that you can download. And filters, and let's do a brightness. And current paint target. No. Let's see if this will... Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So this will get the whole layer when I'm done. If I want to, you know, kind of color correct all of this together, I can do these with these filters. So as long as you keep this stuff on a separate layer, you'll be fine, and you won't affect anything else that you've already done. This guy's got a lot of light baked into him, though. He's got some like cool stuff. It's just kind of too much light baked in. I think I like this guy better than the other one. It's like this lichen stuff. And baking. Let's see, this guy. Copy link. Come on. Go. Ah, yeah. This is the guy. Oh, come on. Open for me. It's because I don't have the images that... Normally, doesn't it come with those images? Open comp. Yeah, there's like a download packet or something like that, though. Yeah, because this doesn't have the images with it. Yeah, I thought it was built in too. That's interesting. But yeah, that is the one. Why isn't it? I just double clicked it. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I do that and it doesn't load. Weird. No love. Worked for you? Well, good. That's what you want. That's, you know, basically that shows you how the layers are meant to be combined. It doesn't go beyond you know, how to like divide them and multiply them back together or anything like that, but that still gives you a good kind of working idea of proper rebuild. He's the most chenable. Yes, Jerry is very, very chenable. So if you are watching this on YouTube and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because you haven't come to the Twitch stream, and you should. Yeah, Adam shows up every once in a while, so commenting on Jerry, giving Adam grief. He's too busy. He's got new friends now. Doesn't need us anymore. Alright. I think I might... Let's see how I feel about this stuff on their faces. You need to speak to me, Chad, huh? About how busy you are? Let's get some weird. And baking. You know, so it just becomes a matter of, you know, setting down lots of base textures and then layering stuff up and then doing just some, you know, custom painting, and that get you a lot of the way there. And it's kind of the same as when I work inside of ZBrush. It's just throwing down some base details and not worrying too much in the beginning whether or not you messed it up big time. The layers, they definitely allow you to be a little bit destructive, but it's really, you know, non-destructive, and you can just put stuff down and then put more stuff down until you get something that you like. Another question. I was wondering if there was a trick to have stamp clone tools like Photoshop when working with Polypaint, besides the fact of using Zap. using the Z app. Wouldn't it be nice to have a tool when poly painting in ZBrush? Yeah, I don't know if there is such a tool or not. I don't really, you know, since Mari, I kind of moved away from poly painting in ZBrush, and I only did that for a very brief time, a long time ago, and I don't know a lot about poly painting and the tool set that's there. Yeah, it would be nice. Problem with poly painting is, you know, you're limited by your resolution, and I like Mari for the simple fact that, you know, I can paint really high res textures on a, you know, really low res, you know, base model. So yes, I agree, that would be nice. But I'm not really the guy to ask about poly painting. I can ask about it. I can phone a friend. Come on. Let's just cover that and then I'll fix it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. In the Mari tool set, you have to paint the texture, or like the ones in Photoshop. Oh yeah, the tools in Mari are very similar to Photoshop. Yeah. With some really nice additions. If you're into projections and things like that, you know, Mari really works well with Nuke. And you can send projections that you've set up inside of Nuke over to Mari, which is freaking awesome. Mari allows you to have cameras, and animated cameras, so you can do like a coverage map, which is great. But otherwise, yeah, you've got clone stamp tools. You've got this, like, you know, paint through texture brush that I'm using. You've got paint brushes, you've got layers, you can set these guys to multiply, things like that. Like stamp clone, heal, yes, all of that is in here. You also have this other brush called a slurp tool, or the tool. Let me see. Let's get some stuff on the canvas and I'll show you. Where is it? It's this guy? No. Spline wrapper. Oh yeah, I haven't used that one in a long time. Where is it? This guy, slurp tool. So this one, so right now I haven't baked yet, and I've got stuff on the canvas, and this allows you to just like kind of nudge stuff into place. R for radius. If you have a larger radius, you'll affect a bigger area. So this is before baking. So right now I still have things on the paint buffer, so I can just kind of shift that around, then hit B and bake it. That feature is super nice, especially when you're working with like a complicated projection and you're trying to line a couple of things up, and it's like, I just want that to be just ever so. God damn it! I just baked again. I really need to. Are you kidding me? I just did it again. Wow. What? You're pissing me off. Dude, stop baking. Yeah, kind of like a liquefy tool. but in 3D. Why are you not? It will only bake for me right now. I don't even have anything on the paint buffer. You cheeky fuck. Oh, come on. Is there some... I don't have any other controls. I can't get it to do anything other than bake. No, I don't want to select. Go, okay. Wow, that was weird. Every time I hit Alt and tried to do anything, any of my mouse clicks, it was just baking again and again and again. Not exactly what I wanted. Close, but not quite. It'll be fine for the moment. Must bake, yes. Gotta get baked. Nah, I don't do that. And I want some shadow on this so I know exactly where this guy's face is. Very nice. It's perfect. Oh no, I'm out of coffee. Different one, just for fun. Is that that? Maybe this one. They're all very different. Bake that from that angle. Because I'm going to get crazy stretching if I don't. And then I'm just going to lay some shit right here. Bake that. This is like Minecraft. My son is got inside that guy. Wow. My son is very into Minecraft. and that is what I have to listen to at the dinner table lately, is him talking about Minecraft and all sorts of stuff. I have no freaking idea what he's talking about. I think that's like a rite of passage, though, as a parent. It's your child obsessing over Minecraft. And now I'm all cockamamie. Alright. And I just want to send this over to Max. I'm gonna save first. No? Alright, good. So, again, I can, right now I'm still kind of testing stuff, so when I do this, I want to export flattened and export the current channel flattened, because now my channel has multiple guys here. I'm gonna rename this guy. Can't I just click on it? Am I missing rename? Remove layer. It's like if you were attacking UVs with your parents at the dinner. Oh, talking. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like just constant, and I have no idea what he's saying. Well, whatever. I'll rename it later. Right, so export current channel flattened. And the dialog will come up. And I want to go to 11. I don't really use this thing because there used to be an old bug where it just crashed, and my experience is always, if you use the Explorer, it's something in like how this is Linux based or something like that. Not everybody has it, and I don't have it all the time, but if you explore out with this thing, it will crash. It's one of its features. So this guy's baking, or exporting. And let me close some stuff. That's pretty much it. So now you'll see, I think like last time I exported and it was just, you know, bam, like instant. Now it's not so instant. And the higher resolution and the more maps and the more layers and all that stuff you get, the slower it's going to be. So it hasn't done anything yet. There we go. So now I've got all my UDIMs again. And I can close this or minimize it. And have I put this in 11? Yeah, I did. Okay. Now I should be able to render this guy, and we'll start to see some other stuff on it. Hello from a newcomer. I've got a question. Hope you could give me some insight. Have you ever worked in production with PTEX? Also available in Mari. Yes, that's true. Or is it not that common in studios at the moment? I have not worked in production with PTEX. I think it's common in some studios, but for whatever reason, we haven't really messed with it. It's kind of like, it's still, I think, a little too new for a studio like Blur to toy with that. Like, you know, we don't really have a lot of development or developers, and if something like that isn't working, it really just doesn't bode well for us. We're on such like tight schedules and things. It's got to be completely proven before it's adopted. So no, I haven't, because most of the time I work in like little studios where there's like, you know, a developer or a couple, or little, you know, I'm talking like 100 people, but that's more like, as far as I know, a larger studio type thing. Let's see if I can render without crashing the stream here. Oh, it's not. Oh, right. I moved my map. Like, it's not updating. Yeah, because you didn't path your map. Alright. Go to class 11. Maps. Just open one. So hopefully that's a helpful answer. I would like to use them, or use ptext. It would be cool, but haven't done it yet. All right, and what is it? Right? I think that's right. It's thinking. Must be right. Let's see. Go, baby, go. Yeah, the concept or the idea behind you know, ptext is certainly appealing. I hate UVing as much as the next guy. I mean, I know there are some people that are really into it, and that's great, but most of us don't want to have anything to do with it. So I would love to have a method by which I don't have to do that anymore. This map has definitely slowed my stuff down. Shockingly so. Come on. But it is definitely working. So that's good. Because, you know, that's what we want. Yeah, so now we've got these guys kind of exposed, which is the idea, and then bark on everything else. So that's what's good. The lazier the better. Yes. As far as UVing and everything, yes, the lazier the better. The less I have to do, that's a feature. And something I will definitely embrace in production. There's right now, like, there's a lot of tools that are kind of on the cusp as far as I'm concerned. You know, like Substance Painter is another one of those where it's like, in theory, it's cool, and I think, like, you know, down the road it'll be awesome, but it's still like missing. You still have to do too many things to like get in and make it useful, where it's too many steps right now. So I haven't really embraced that. I know, like, you know, a lot of video game companies are using it, but we definitely stay away from it at the moment, just because it's simply too many steps to get something out, and the old tried and proven tools are still more effective for us. I love how the tree is looking to give that dude a handshake. He totally wants to give that guy a handshake. You're like, yeah, give me a high five. Yeah, so this is starting to be what I'm wanting. You know, this stuff is too bright, or just too kind of different tonal values. I'm going to desaturate this stuff and actually maybe make it, I don't know, once I desaturate it, we'll see what I get. But I'm not going to do that yet. I want to lay down a little bit more, and I mean, I'll probably render this guy to higher resolution this weekend to see how the textures are kind of looking. But you can see, you know, this is one map at this point, and you know, it's doing a lot more work than you would think that it might. I thought Substance has a poly count limit, hence it's not optimized for film. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that it's got limits for. You know, Quixel, I think, is closer to getting completely like production ready for a studio like Blur. Their tool set, I think some of the stuff that he's coming out with, the Bakers and things like that, that stuff is, I think they're getting there a little bit quicker, especially for film and commercial work. Video games, you know, both those guys, I think they've got it down. But yeah, that's my observation of what's going on. So save. I just baked again. Nice. Now it will only let me zoom. Dude! Mari. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to go back to my base layer. So just opening this guy and picking, you know, which layer you want to paint on. Back to my image, back to my paint through, and I'm going to clean up some of this stuff. Emperor of Cheese, hey man. Angry Polyman, you're up early. I am up early. Want to get this thing done. How's it going? Dude. All right. I should really be using my tablet for this, and yet I'm not. There's also other brushes. I know, like, I'm just painting with this this little round brush, but somewhere, I think I don't have it open at the moment. You can really like optimize this this viewport thing as viewport thing. That's a technical term. Wow, that bake's taking a long time. But you can get rid of all these things in the UI and add your own custom stuff to this, or pull things off and put them in the second palette. Oh yeah, that's what I did. Where'd my shite go? Hello. Interesting. I don't really need to be in perspective mode anyway. I didn't like you, perspective mode. So over here, I've got some palettes thrown on my other monitor. So you've got lots of different, you know, brushes that you can pick from. Hard surface brushes and all sorts of good stuff. These will come in a little bit more useful once I, you know, as I said, like on this guy, if I come here, this is my, you know, bare wood, right? If I add a new layer here and I wanted to still paint with the bark, and I want to start to add some, like, you know, interaction here, or where the one kind of overlays. I think maybe that hard surface guy. I don't know, let's see. No. No. Yeah, probably. Ultimately, what I'm going to do here is, you know, I don't want this type of look. I want something where it's more like, you know, this is kind of laying over here, and you get a, you know, a transition between these two. And I might do it with, like, you know, a bigger brush at first, and then come in with a smaller brush to refine and add more detail. By default, this guy's rotating it around and whatnot, which is nice. Well. Emperor rolling around in the game dev streams. What? I don't know, Zillion Twitch. Come on, bake faster. But that, you know, that's kind of the idea. Once I paint them all in, then it's just adding these little details to kind of get a nicer transition, and that's where these custom brushes come in a lot more handy. Just for laying out, like, you know, what I'm doing right now and just putting the texture in and rotating it and all that. I don't need a brush like this. So I just wanted to show you that if this weekend you're like, I'm gonna mess with some Mari, because that's what you want to do. All right, so go back to that. Oh, it's 7. Time to make the donuts. Do you guys have any questions? I'm gonna have to get going here in a minute. I gotta get the kiddies up and going to school here. Start my day. But I can answer a couple of questions before I go if you'd like. Come on. Should probably turn those other layers off while I'm doing this for this base one. If you kind of get too ahead of yourself, your baking can take a little longer. What? All right. Adam has taken over my MooBot. So, you know, a lot of this stuff, these, like, the painting that I'm doing here, as I've said, you know, I would kind of do this in the UV layout. What? All right. Sorry, just guys are messing around in the chat stream. Wojtek, you're here next week, right? I think Wojtek's here, right? Ah! Uh-oh. Let's see. Yeah, he's in the... showing up in the chat stream, but maybe the delay hasn't gotten to him yet. Okay, so that's the idea here. I'm gonna, you know, continue on with this, and wow, and not be able to talk. And, you know, continue adding detail, more layers, all of that stuff tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, so hit me up. So adding detail, all those goodies, and more layers, lots and lots of layers. This is just the beginning, but some scratches, some other stuff. That's where, you know, these these brushes and other stuff will come in handy. You can also bring your brushes from Photoshop. Brad's new brushes. Who's Brad? Brad's been on my computer. You know, things like this. These are good for just kind of laying out all sorts of grime and dirt and little stuff. You know, and also remembering that I've got ivy and things like that all over this, and I'll have more plants, so I don't want to put too much detail where I'm not going to see it, but I do want to give it a little something. Okay. So that is today's session. Doesn't appear that there's any questions, so thank you again, as always, for coming out and watching, and hope you are getting something out of this. Let me know on Facebook. Also, you can post stuff if you've got questions or comments or anything like that. Hit me up on the Angry Polly's Facebook site and or Facebook page, and I'm happy to answer things offline there as well. You can also chat me if you'd like, and I will answer you at my earliest convenience. So thanks a lot. Have a good day.